I mean, sometimes you win games and sometimes you destroy. क्या हो गया सर? सब ठीक है?
यार अब तो सबको खड़ा रहना पड़ेगा ना.
मैं नहीं हो सकता सर. मैं
Age order, in order of age, उठो.
No, GK, you don't need to. You deserve to sit.
Yeah.
On reaching the studio last game, you said, "हम जीतेंगे आराम से."
Yeah.
You made it come true. So I just want to stand up and applaud. Well done.
I thought you're applauding the most perfect team performance that you can see.
It is a team performance, sir. I have come and the team has got strengthened and India has won both games. And DK, thank you very much. I will not take the fact that somebody else did not get up to clap as disrespect at this moment. I just want to say that it's not disrespect. But if you want to, I won't stop you. I mean, if you, chali koi baat nahi. I'll just take your applause and the look of respect in your eyes. I will take that. But yes, India has won this series 2-1. No, please, bus. No, it's not me. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. It's the team that did it. But today India has
his Oscar-winning performance. I've got a Filmfare Lifetime Achievement Award.
I think Kiravani should come once to him before he goes on to the Oscar stage.
Yeah, the Oscar stage, because the other one you said can be bought. This one is one on merit. Which one? Which one did you say?
I said Filmfare. Okay.
Oh, Lifetime Achievement. No, that can't be bought. For that, you need to have... But I'm very young right now to get Lifetime Achievement. But this team today, what they have done... Well, it's actually one of those once-in-a-lifetime kind of achievements because it is a huge margin. I mean, New Zealand have been absolutely desecrated today. India has won by 168 runs, the biggest margin of defeat between two full member nations. India, I think DK is going to stand up and clap again this time for Team India, but don't. It's fine. We get the emotion. 234 is what India got batting first. New Zealand 66 all out in 12.1 overs. I mean, this... you see in Mumbai there's one-way lanes, there's one-way traffic, and suddenly in bustling one-way traffic, a cycle comes the other way and you know it's only going to end one way. It really was like that today, wasn't it?
I think India gave New Zealand, not a taste of their own medicine because in the first T20 they took 3 wickets in the power play and literally broke India's back. India gave them 10 folds there. Just not only the margin by which they won, just the kind of catches they took. They put on a show out there. We spoke about the fact that the batting scorecard was probably the best batting scorecard into how a team should play in a T20. The bowling scorecard, I think, just doesn't get better, getting a team all out for 66. And the fact that they held some phenomenal catches, Surya Kumar Yadav especially, I think held on to some blinders there. So overall, I don't think Rahul Dravid and Hardik Pandya could have expected anything more from this team. A thorough, brilliant performance.
And there was at one time where the margin was looking so big, you'd think that India may have to enforce the follow-on, but it's, Harsha told me it's a T20 game, so they only bat once. Thank you for telling me that, but I genuinely thought it would be. But really, what a win. Like, this is complete destruction.
Look, this was a season of 12 white ball matches in India.
Yeah.
And going into this series, you knew that India's home record is formidable. But look what India have achieved in the course of these 12 games. The biggest ever margin in one-day international cricket history. 317 against Sri Lanka. The biggest ever margin in T20 history. People often complain that when you come to India, the pitches are like that, you can't win, and that's why India have got a great home record. Look at this. On excellent pitches, 317 in a 50-over game and 168 in a 20-over game. That just tells you and other people coming in why it is genuinely so difficult to come to India and win. Come on.
Yeah.
You want to take it?
No, because it's I'm getting a video call from Ashish Nehra right now. The reason I'm getting that is because all the GT boys have done really well today.
He'd be really proud of them.
Yeah.
They had a field day today and coincidentally it was in Ahmedabad as well. So I don't think there could be a happier coach there.
Yeah.
All his boys, Shivam Mavi, Shubman Gill, Hardik Pandya, having a brilliant day, except one, Lockie Ferguson, but they traded him, right?
They traded Lockie Ferguson.
So that will be clever. That will be happy about as well.
Yeah. See what happens if you trade Lockie Ferguson. Good bowler? 4-0, 54-0.
Stop it.
Ashish Nehra he can predict the future.
He can see the future.
Nostradamus, I must
He can see the future, but he can't see the show because otherwise he wouldn't have called in the middle of it.
Tell him to join the show.
From there, right? He should. At least send us a video message. But let's have a look at what the bowlers did. We'll pull the bowling card out for you. I don't think we should pull the batting card out because it's a little embarrassing. But there you go. The captain, Hardik Pandya, taking the new ball as he has been doing, and he bowled his 4 overs, picked up 4 wickets. Arshdeep Singh got 2, Umran Malik got 2, Shivam Mavi got 2, and surprise, surprise, while everybody else was making merry, Kuldeep Yadav, well, they seem to have broken a long string of him getting a lot of wickets and him going wicketless today. He won't mind. He just bowled the 1 over. Didn't get a chance to bowl more because the innings wrapped up at the start of the 13th over. But I don't think Kuldeep will mind today, will he?
Yeah. And also look at... No, he won't mind at all. Look at how the wickets fell in the power play. Sometimes you can say, yeah, they were chasing a big target, so they went slogging. Top edge caught at third man. Top edge caught somewhere else. No, they didn't get out like that. 2 caught at slip. 1 miscuing a shot caught up. It wasn't desperate shots that got the wicket. It was good bowling that got wickets. But I could not agree more with him. It's amazing how when you get onto the field and someone plucks an amazing catch, it just lifts everybody. A great ball can lift you, but there's nothing like a great catch that lifts everybody.
Yeah.
And that catch by Sky early on, and the second one that he took...
Which one? Because he did a cut, copy, paste.
But you know, the second one, I was looking and saying, why are they showing the replay so many times? And the batter started to walk away.
Yeah.
But the first one that he took would just have lifted the side so much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this was... I mean, you seek perfection on a cricket ground.
Yeah.
I think India came as close to perfection on a cricket ground today in Ahmedabad.
Yeah, they really did. DK, you're the wicketkeeper. You see your colleague in first slip take those 2 catches. Which one makes you go, whoa, more than the other one?
I think the first one was like, wow, until you realize there's something that can be better. The second one was even better because it came faster, slightly higher. Terrific catches. And I know I keep saying this, for Mumbai, for a long time in Ranji Trophy, he was the second slip fielder and he just has great hands there. The good thing now, again, for India, walking into the Australian series, they have a few lovely close-in catches. Shubman Gill has really improved his slip catching. Surya Kumar is already there. So they have some, good slip fielders there. I know Ajinkya Rahane did a fabulous job the time that he was there, in slips and gully. But I think these two obviously have added that to their arsenal as well as cricketers. So that's really going to help Team India as well. With Shreyas Iyer not being there, there's a great chance Surya Kumar could get a look in. And him being a close-in fielder will obviously help the spinners a lot. And the fast bowlers, but spinners more so.
I mean, he then went across to the boundary.
And that boundary catch was...
took a boundary catch just inches off the rope.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, send him to Washington, put him in charge of the world economy, in charge of the IMF, and the world's problems will get solved in the form he's in.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying send him to Washington Sundar. I was like, but he's fine. He's doing well.
In Washington, do hote hain.
Washington played the match.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was there?
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah. He was there.
He didn't get a chance today.
Yeah, his mother will be upset today.
Washington Sundar today reminded me of my first season in the school team.
Yes.
Where after every Sunday league match, I would come home and they would say, what happened? I said, didn't get batting, didn't get bowling.
Bowling, that's right.
And to think it can happen at
but that's the kind of performance today, right? When the batters, just a few of them do so well, everybody doesn't get a chance. When the bowlers, the few of them who bowl do so well, not all the bowlers get a chance. And we must talk about the captain, national treasure, wrap him in cotton wool, Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya, the captain, Hardik Pandya, the all-rounder, and Hardik Pandya, the opening bowler now. I mean, this is what they call in Hindi, bahut badi uplabdhi.
I can't repeat that, but I can say he's doing fabulously well. I really like Harsha's point that he likes to do all the tough things. And I think, obviously, bowling with the new ball in T20 cricket is an art. It's a hard skill because you're bowling in the power play and he's doing pretty well so far. He's got other resources as well and he's using them really well. His captaincy seems to grow from strength to strength by the day. This T20 series, in the last series, I thought a great win in Bombay when he tried to held down Sri Lanka from scoring 164. This one, being 1-0 up, playing on a hard wicket and then coming up and putting this commanding performance as a team. I think he'll be very proud of the efforts of the team and the fact that he's really led this team well in this series.
His body is obeying him, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Isn't it a beautiful feeling for an athlete when your body allows you to do whatever your mind wants to do? It must be the most beautiful feeling in the world when that happens. And his body is allowing him to do everything to the extent that after every match he would look at... we have this sort of conversation saying, body okay? Body okay? Yeah. And he looks at me and says, sir, bilkul theek hai, no problem.
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood. Look at the way that outswinger he's got. I mean, I know we talked about the fact that he got excited like a child about the in-swinger, but that outswinger, he's bowling it so beautifully.
Yeah.
Inevitably, he's producing an edge or beating the bat. He's bowling that outswinger beautifully.
He's also, I mean, we're talking about his body being in good shape. He's also taking care of it. We've seen it. We've seen in terms of his nutrition, seen it in terms of his training.
Yeah.
I guess you also, as you get older and you grapple with injuries, DK, you get a little smarter and wiser about your own training, how to push yourself and preserve yourself at the same time.
I think so, because I think he's gone through the grind. I think that Asia Cup injury he had in the back when he had to be literally moved off the field halfway through in his bowling just looked nasty, and from there on he's turned a new leaf. He's taken training far more seriously. He carries a chef on tour because he's got a bad gut and he doesn't want to lose out games because of not feeling well on any given day. He has a great relationship with the current Indian trainer Soham Desai, and he's got a full-time physio with him in the name of Suresh, who works with him consistently off the field, even when he's not playing for the country. And by that I mean he doesn't play red ball cricket so much these days, so he's got some downtime, but he's focusing a lot on training. Before both these series, he was one of the few players who, even though he wasn't injured much, just had a small neck niggle, went and spent 2 weeks in Bangalore and NCA by himself and only focused a lot on training. So he's doing a lot of what I call, things that not many people see, but he's ticking all those boxes which are very, very important to him personally, which are helping him produce these results when it matters. Come the big game, I said he will do something special, and I went for him because I knew these big games is what gets the best out of him. And again, you saw a cameo with the bat, a very good, obviously a very good spell with the ball as well.
One of the things we say in sport is what you see on the field is an outcome of what you don't see off the field.
Fair enough. There's a lot of backroom investment that happens with all these
nobody
players,
sees.
which nobody sees.
Are you willing in this Instagram era of instant gratification to be working your backside off and nobody is watching? And the harder you work when nobody is watching, the better you get when everybody is watching. And I think that is what is happening. I also see him in a very happy place.
Yeah.
Sometimes we underestimate the value of being in a very happy place. Because I remember when they won the IPL last year, and I could see what it meant to him, what it meant to his wife. They're around, and I'm a sucker for families, as you know.
Yeah.
But I just saw the bond that existed, all happy for each other. And I remember saying to myself, I'm waiting for the presentation to happen. And I remember saying to myself, this kid looks like he's in a happy place.
Yeah.
And I think you can never underestimate the value of being that. I don't know what will happen to his body and his cricket, but I hope he stays in a happy place all the time.
Yeah, because Hardik Pandya in a happy place means Indian fans are in a happy place. And he's definitely shown us that in this series. All right, we'll just a couple of other players. We spoke about Shubman Gill, of course, today because I just have to speak with him again, speak about him just a little bit, because what he's done today, 126 in 63 balls, that 200 strike rate, also becoming the youngest Indian player to have 3 centuries, or rather have centuries in all 3 formats, which is what Shubman has done. Who are the others? There's Suresh Raina, who did it first. There's
not Virat Kohli,
Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli,
KL Rahul.
Yeah, KL Rahul. So those are the ones, top order. Yeah, so those are the ones. So it's good company to be in, and he's done that. And it's good to see him kind of translate that, what we were talking about, white ball 50 over form into 20 over form, because we had not seen that. He's played only a few games, but in those few games, looked as if didn't have the lay of the land. Today, it looked like he knew the business model and he executed the business model.
Absolutely. I think Shubman Gill is destined for greatness. I think you cannot stop him from becoming big. He is already big, and he's going to achieve some special things in the future. You can see with his, as you know, I keep using the word, the invisible work that he puts on, that is the work that he puts when he's not seen on TV, is a lot. He's very, very disciplined, works real hard on his fitness, is very aware of the technical glitches he has, and he's constantly trying to evolve and get better at that as well. Now, all these add up to mean that you're very serious about your sport and you want to do something special. So he's on the path to achieving something big, and there is no stopping him from that. Everybody who's been watching him for the last 2-3 years felt him achieving special things was inevitable, was a matter of time, and slowly and steadily he's proving everyone right there. And I think he's an absolute joy to watch. And when he gets going, he's one of the most fluent, proper cricket shot player, which is always a special skill to have. Yes, you have the laps and the scoops and all of that, and they're great to watch. But somebody just standing and driving on the up, playing back foot punches to the ball that's meant to be played that shot. And that is always a joy to watch.
I'm so happy to hear that because I don't know Shubman as well as he does. My interactions have just been around where he comes through as a very polite and that kind of not the brash throw weight around. But I'm so happy to hear what he is saying about what he does off the field and the discipline that he has off the field. You see all the great players in Indian cricket, let's say even in recent times, don't go too far back. Look at the Tendulkars, the Dravids, the Kumbbles, the greatest players in Indian cricket. If there's one thing they all had was extraordinary discipline and love for what they were doing. So I'm so happy to hear what DK is saying about Shubman.
Yeah, he's shown it today, and we just hope he keeps showing it because it's very interesting. I want to talk about Rahul Tripathi as well, because Rahul Tripathi is another one who, I mean, there's been a few players in Indian cricket who are like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? They just keep waiting for their chance to come, and it takes so long to come. Surya Kumar Yadav is one person who now you look at and you go, well, till a few years back, he was not in the India scheme of things. And you go, what? Really? Does that even make any sense? Rahul Tripathi is another guy, DK, who's had to wait for his turn, right? And with the T20 cricket now, when you see him and the way he's playing, it's quite easy to then say, okay, my chance has come after so long, I must play for myself. This guy doesn't look like he does that for even one ball. It's like he's playing the situation, he's playing for the team, he's playing selflessly. It comes across as that to a fan. Does that ring true?
Whatever I'm going to say now, I think, is not about Rahul Tripathi. It's, I think, for all cricket fans who watch Indian cricket and follow Indian cricket very closely. Please don't have selective amnesia or temporary amnesia in the near future when he gets, because the names replacing him will be big at some point of time, And then we might look at the scores and go, he just scored a 40 and he just scored a 30. Let's be very, very aware of the situation he's done.
Context.
And the intent and the context of every time he's walked in, selflessly knowing probably his career was on the line, but still taking the aggressive option, still taking the big shot option, which could high risk option, but still trusting to do that because his team needs him to do that in a must-win game. I think we shouldn't forget that because in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, maybe he'll have a good IPL, maybe he won't, but he deserves that Indian team number 3 spot whenever that comes. If Virat Kohli chooses to play, okay. But when his time gets, if Virat Kohli is not around, he should be the first choice, not somebody else who's done well somewhere else, because when his career was on the line, he's done a fabulous job in the last game against Sri Lanka and this game. And he's not somebody who's going to get many chances. But still, he went out there with an aggressive intent, took high-risk options, and did exactly what the captain and the coach would want. So I hope as fans, we don't get, we just don't look at it the same way after 3-4 months, because he's a good player. He's doing something very selfless, something that Team India needs, walking into ICC tournaments. And the beauty about him is that's his DNA, to go out there and do it irrespective of how big the situation is or how big the game is. And these are the kind of players you will need, because in the big matches, they will exactly do that. And if they come good, we have a great chance to move forward.
Today, he's not just 44 of 22. You look at that and you go, well, that's a good innings. But I think he's got a large part to play in Shubman's big score as well. That's the context that DK is talking about.
It's interesting. When you were asking him about Rahul Tripathi, I suddenly realized I was smiling.
Yeah.
There are some players, they come out to bat and you just feel good. There's a smile that accompanies them. Everything Rahul Tripathi does on a ground makes you smile. By the way, today he took a sharp chance at point as well. Yeah. He's not a mug in the field. Even in the previous game, I think he had a very good effort on the boundary too. But I could not agree more with what DK is saying. When you are 30, he's 31, 32 years old now. Yeah. And till he was 26, 27, you didn't even know about him. It was at the insistence of a friend of mine that he got a trial that allowed him to play for Rising Pune. And then the whole family got in and, it was just like a fairy tale playing out. But that was 5-6 years ago. He could be forgiven for thinking players like me are good domestic players. We don't get to play for India. So when I play for India, as you were saying first, pakad ke khelo. Ye chance milega ke nahi dobara fir. Roko, theek khelo. But I saw the innings he played, I think in Hyderabad, where he got a 34 or 15 balls or something. And he had failed in the first game. And I thought, wow, man, this kid's not afraid or what? Yeah. What he did today, he hit 2 sixes from a 5th, 6th stump ball. Yeah. This is someone who's, as I said, had to wait a long time and who's can be forgiven for thinking, yaar, chance mila hai, roke khelo, pakad ke rehna. Yeah. So that, I think, that's why I enjoyed what he said about you need players like those who are not afraid on the big day. and was saying, this is the role my team has given me, this is the role I will play.
Yeah.
We must respect those players. Sometimes we don't do that.
Yeah, Tripathi having a party. Yeah, and we're all invited. But there's one guy who didn't have a party in the first game. Was Arshdeep Singh. And of course, that no ball problem and everything that happened there and question marks. Oh, geez, is that dream run over? But today it was good to see. I mean, the captains always put faith in him. And it was good to see him come good today because this guy is again solid. We've spoken about him a lot. He's solid. One or two performances here and there can't make you question the pedigree of a good white ball bowler like him.
No doubt about that. I think Arshdeep Singh, at the biggest stage, which is the World Cup in T20, such a young age, has done phenomenally well. That should carry its worth in gold. And I think, yes, in bilaterals, he did. Obviously, he didn't do as well as he could in a couple of games. It could be due to various things, but the only thing I would tell him is the more awareness he creates within himself about how he goes about in practice, the better he's going to get. But the one good thing about him, he's a three-face bowler. He can bowl power play, he can bowl at the death, and he can bowl through the middle as well. And that is something that is very, very special. And add to that, he's a left-hander. So, he gives a lot of flexibility to the Indian team in terms of where he can bowl. Obviously, the fact that he bowls left arm as well. So, he is a really good option for India to have. And in T20 scheme of things, he looks like a strong contender going forward and a consistent member of the side.
You said three-phase bowler. He also has each of the three balls that define a left-arm bowler. The ball that swings into the right-hander, he's got a great Yorker, and he's now, more and more, we're seeing, got a very good bouncer. He's got all three balls.
Yeah.
Then slowly, actually, we've seen that a little bit with the ball that is not angled outside the right-hander's off-stump, but which swings outside the right-hander's off-stump. So it's interesting, at such a young age, he's already looking ready. But what I like about him is what I liked about Bumrah. That every time you looked at him, you said, oh, he can do this too. So he keeps surprising you, he keeps getting better. And I just hope he does. And sometimes, I don't know if you agree, DK, sometimes when you've not touched the bottom, but when you've gone through a series of disappointing performances, maybe it just reminds you again how much you want the good times.
True.
So.
Fair enough. Mitchell Santner didn't have a good time. Definitely not today. Had it in the first game, but not today. And I've got it on the Cricbuzz app now, what he said after the game. He said it was disappointing. Yeah. He says it's tough to win when you lose 5 wickets in the power play. It can be it can be challenging when the ball is swinging. If you look at the way India played, they took their time early on, and when it got flat, they really had a go at us. And then he started talking about the World Cup that's going to be happening in India. He's talking about the due, and he's saying that 320 would be a score we'd want to restrict teams to then. So he's really planning way ahead, isn't he? He's already jumped to October in a press conference on the 1st of Feb.
There could be 2 recessions between now and then.
It could be a lot that is happening between now and then. But I guess he's
just finished January.
Yeah, but he's talking about due. He's talking about the wickets in October. But I think the one line that is that should talk about is that, I mean, losing 5 in the power play, whether you're batting first, you're batting second, you're chasing 234 or 34. Can't lose 5 wickets in the power play. I mean, that was just, today was it just the pressure of the fact that they had to go at almost 12 and over? Was it just really good bowling irrespective?
It was good bowling, no doubt. But I think it's mainly the pressure. When you're chasing 234, you need at least 70, 75 runs for you to compete in any way after that. And they were nowhere close to that. And that's why good bowling comes, because they didn't give anything easy, no freebies given, and some high quality catching. So overall, I think this is arguably one of the strongest performances any international side must have put in a bilateral, without doubt. The scores say it, the stats say it, and you do get the feeling it was a perfect batting performance, perfect bowling performance. And for me, this is a perfect game of T20 cricket.
How do you, like, you board the flight after a game like this? You carry that disappointment across time zones and oceans.
I hope so. Because nothing spurs performance more than the lingering smell of disappointment.
Yeah.
And that disappointment must stay with you. I don't know if it does, because next thing you know is maybe in a few days they're playing another tournament. And it just goes away. There's something to be said in favor of saying, okay, it didn't happen. Everyone has these horrible days. It didn't happen. Come, let's keep looking ahead. But I think you must be aware that these days are possible too.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, because they've obviously had a very forgettable trip. DK, they played 6 games. They only won the one. That was the first T20I. Lost the ODIs 3-0. Have lost this 2-1. And just this margin, right? I mean, you've also had that margin where India won by 90 runs, India won by 8 wickets. So effectively, I guess they ran India close in, one game. If you say, 12 runs could be maybe just the last game where it went down to the last ball. But otherwise, this is really...
Look,
it's
that
been
8 wickets
slipping.
game, they were all out 108 in a 50-over game. So it's this obviously is an aberration.
Yeah.
But it tells you that there isn't that steel in the batting.
They are
It
missing...
tells you that when Conway is doing well, or that is what Williamson does, when Conway, Williamson are doing well, they provide the backbone,
Yeah,
they provide the steel to the batting. Whereas here, this one went into free fall.
yeah.
And the 108 all out was similar.
Yeah. I mean, you'll miss Kane Williamson here, Tom Latham. So there's definitely, I mean, for New Zealand though, do they take any positives away from this series?
I think so, definitely. I think Santner's captaincy was overall somebody who led really well. He bowled brilliantly. And these are the two big positives for me. And I mean, I don't think I should say this, but Conway is somebody who's steady at all times and he's seeming to get better in every format with every game that he plays for New Zealand. But what is very, very obvious for me is the, alarming gap that a Saudi and a Bolt have with the rest of the medium pacers that come through. I think they are the biggest thorn in every team's flesh in an ICC tournament because they are the ones who provide breakthroughs up front and bowl pretty well at the death. But when the conditions are slightly in favor for them, they do a phenomenal job. And that's where I think New Zealand's biggest alarming look would be when they look back at the team. The bowlers were definitely not able to produce anything close to what those two are able to produce over a period of time. And they've been around for close to a decade now. So it tells me that those two are players, when they do leave the game, there'll be a massive gap to fill. And the fact that Williamson didn't play in the ODIs, I think that batting-wise, it is a big miss for them. We keep speaking about Williamson and his strike rates. To an extent, it's probably justified in the ODI format of things. I think he's a very, very critical player for them. In the T20, it's a different picture altogether. But the one thing that's a standout is Bolt and Saudi. And this is the big question in international cricket as well. With so much international cricket being played, but with some of the players choosing to play franchisee cricket, and it's affecting the fact that their country's performances, when they play bilaterals, what is the future going to hold for international cricket is something that's going to be a big question mark for a lot of the boards.
I think it might be interesting to see Lockie Ferguson's numbers when Bolt and Southee are playing and when Bolt and Southee are not playing. And when he's the lead player, because he's got to play a different role. When Bolt and Southee are playing, if Matt Henry is playing, he's got a role. If Lockie Ferguson's playing, he's got a role. Now suddenly there's no Bolt, there's no Southee. Do you want Lockie at the top? Do you want his space in the middle? But do you want his 2 overs at the death? But is Lockie ready for all that?
Yeah.
And they're going to miss Bolt and Southee. That 2008 under-19 batch through wasn't Williamson, Southee, Bolt all part of that
Bracewell.
team?
Yep.
And Bracewell as well. There you go. And Corey Anderson, I think, was part of it. And for us, Virat Kohli, Jadeja, that was a fertile batch.
Yeah, but I mean, New Zealand, every under-19 team has one Bracewell. I mean, that family pretty much has thrown up a lot of Bracewells there. All right, well, as one plane leaves Indian shores, another one lands. So New Zealand's going back, Australia's here, because Australia is going to be playing 4 test matches. That's right, 4 test matches. Remember, test matches, they're back, yes. And solid test matches. Well, there you go. There's going to be 4 of them. And then 3 ODIs. Of course, Nagpur, Delhi, Dharamshala and Ahmedabad. And then the 3 games in Mumbai, Visakhapatnam and Chennai. And India can be, you told me, sir, that India can be number 1 across all formats if
if India had lost today, India would have gone to number 2 in the T20I rankings.
Oh, we're there.
Same points as England. So you're number 1 on the ODI ranking, you're number 1 on T20I ranking. You win the series against Australia. I think you've got to win it 2-0, 3-1, something like that. But every test will have a result given the kind of pitches we have.
Yeah.
If you win that series against Australia, you become number 1 in all 3 formats.
3-phased, as DK just said. 3-phased. Can that happen? Well, it's going to be tough competition because this Australia team is not one that will come and roll over. But what will the pitches be? Well, we don't know. We know what the squad will be. So let's have a look at the squad. Let's have a look at the India squad first and see who's in it. Well, of course, Rohit Sharma, the captain. There's Pujara, Kohli, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer. He's in
the squad. We don't yet know whether he's ruled out of the first test, right?
Injury situation. Not in the first test for sure. Surya Kumar Yadav. Then there's Ashwin, Akshar, Ravindra Jadeja comes back. KL Rahul, KS Bharat, Ishan Kishan. And with the bowlers, you've got Kuldeep, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, Umesh Yadav and Jaydev Unadkat. So, of course, still no Jasprit Bumrah there.
Isn't it amazing? 3 Saurashtra players in the team, not able to play the Ranji quarter-final as a result. I think there's only some slots available. Shreyas Iyer would have walked into that number 5 spot if he was available. So who plays number 5? That is one spot available. Who are the 2 quicks that you play? I think it's pretty certain who those 2 quicks are, but that's still some topic of discussion.
Shami Siraj?
I'd imagine Shami Siraj, though you know what, you look at Umesh Yadav's numbers with the new ball in Test cricket, he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
The other is, if you're going to play 3 spinners, who is the 3rd spinner? Or who's your opener?
That's my main question. Is that Shubman Gill, in this burning hot inferno form that he's in, there's a chance that he might not play.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of Indian cricket right now. Somebody who's in such red hot form might not be a starter in a format.
I'll tell you one person who doesn't think it's beautiful is Shubman Gill.
I don't think that's true. I partly feel that he is aware that KL Rahul has obviously had a long lineage. He's been around for some time, done well in conditions like England when the conditions were tough in Lords, overcast. He came out there and got a brilliant 100. So he's got 100 in South Africa post that as well. So he's done his credentials no harm. I do know in the recent past, obviously he's not had the best of times in Test cricket, but still it will be KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma opening. The question is, in case Shreyas Iyer is not fit, which you're not very sure about, do you want to play a Shubman Gill or do you want to play a Surya Kumar Yadav? So that could be the toss-up. I personally feel we should play Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Because great player of spin, we're going to play on some interesting wickets which is going to support spin. And you want a player like Surya Kumar Yadav, give him the opportunity. He's been in red hot form as well, not for now, but for some time now. So he deserves that opportunity.
Not that he can't play. He's got a first-class average of 40. He got 5,000 first-class runs, I think.
Absolutely. He deserves a place in the team.
It's also about
Harsha's
positions,
absolutely
right? I mean, people could argue and say, oh, don't play Shubman at 5 because he's an opener and don't play him out of position. But hey, KL Rahul was opening and then first middle order, then opening. Then he was sent down to the middle order. And in England, when they didn't have an opener, Ravi and Virat asked him, will you come back and open? And he said, yes, I will.
Actually,
and we haven't looked back.
KL Rahul at the moment, where is KL Rahul playing the best? He's playing the best at number 5 in one-day international cricket.
Yeah.
At the moment. He might just turn up and score 100 in Nagpur, for all that you know. I don't know. But he's actually at the moment at number 5 in one-day international cricket, where he's performing the best. So you could play Shubman Gill at number 5.
Yeah.
That's fine. He's a very good player of spin bowling. I remember one... It was just a T20 game, so there's not that many deliveries. But he played Rashid Khan beautifully. So he can play spin. So I think that would be a toss-up there. The other is, depending on the surface, do you play Kuldeep, do you play Akshar? I mean, do you play, if you've got Jadeja, do you still play Akshar or do you play Kuldeep as your 3rd spinner?
Interesting problems to have. Very interesting problems to have. Who would you go with?
If the wicket looks like it's going to turn, I'd go with Akshar. I think a finger spinner is always more valuable in turning conditions because the odd one can keep straight, and Akshar, the one thing you do get is a lot of ones going straight, and that's going to trouble the Aussies a lot more than the one that's going to turn away.
Yeah, and he's
on a better track, you'd pick Kuldeep.
Yes, if it's a flat wicket, 100% Kuldeep.
Yeah, because we've seen what Akshar can do. I mean, England knows. Just ask them. Australia, call England. Let's see the Australia
He needs
squad.
to turn one ball. The moment Akshar turns one ball, then he's on a good wicket. He turns one, and then everybody plays for that, and his straight ball is lethal, man. It's like the guy who comes running up to take a penalty. He's hit a couple of penalties up in that top corner, and now you think he's going to hit there, and all he does is dink it straight through.
Yeah, because the keeper's jumping here and there, isn't he? All right, let's have a look at the Australia squad and see who are they bringing to the party. Here it is, Usman Khwaja, as soon as he gets his visa. Steve Smith, I hope he does, because I've really been enjoying watching him bat. Always enjoyed watching him bat.
Khwaja.
I think even more so in the last year or so.
Almost got 500 runs in Pakistan.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching him bat. And this 2.0 that's happening in his 35 years after
Standout
35 years.
opener last year in world cricket. The standout opening
He won
batsman.
the award as well. I think he won the
Australian Test Cricketer of the Year.
Yeah, he won at the medals that just
Alan
happened
Border
right now.
medals.
Those are not bought, I'm telling you that. All right, we'll come back to the squad. There it is. There's also David Warner. There's Steve Smith. There's Matt Renshaw. And then, of course, this is where they do really well. Lots of all-round options. Travis Head, Manas Labuschagne, Ashton Agar, Alex Carey, Peter Hanscom, and Cameron Green, who we're not sure whether he will bowl or not. He can bowl after the second Tuesday of March up till the first Friday of April or some such when the full moon is out. I don't know. There's some
From 11 to 11:15.
Yeah, something like that. There's some complication there, so not sure. But for their bowlers, well, look at this. This is another area of strength. Their captain, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, who may not play the first test.
No, he definitely won't.
Won't? All right. Josh Hazlewood. I think Indian batters will be happy. Josh Hazlewood, Nathan Lyon, Scott Boland, Mitchell Swepson, Lance Morris, and Todd Murphy.
It's a big team. It's a big team. Look how many bowling options they've got because they're playing 4 test matches. They've given themselves the option of picking 3 quicks.
Yeah.
They've also got a tearaway quick because in India, if you're quick in the air, you've got a chance. So they've picked this tearaway quick called Lance Morris. They've come with an off-spinning option, though I don't think he'll be required because Travis Head can bowl off-spin too. But it's a very good balance to that side because after the top 4, who are fantastic. I mean, definitely 1, 3 and 5. I mean, there's Warner who claims to be exhausted. But Khwaja, Warner, Labuschagne, Smith, that's a fabulous top 4.
Brilliant.
Now see what options they get after that. Travis Head is in the form of his life in test match cricket. He's batting like he's playing for England.
Yeah.
But he gives you off spin.
Yeah.
Cameron Green is, in everybody's eyes, still a batter who bowls a bit.
True.
But they can play just 2 quicks with Cameron Green as a third seamer. He gives you 10 overs a day. That's enough, right? Then Alex Carey, the keeper, batting at 7. But also then they can play Ashton Agar at 8. And Ashton Agar is a very, very reasonable batter. So they're batting pretty deep with Cummins at 9.
Yeah.
The question will be, with Cummins, Hazlewood, Agar, Lyon, and a bit of Cameron Green and Travis Head, is that enough to bowl India out twice?
That's a lot of bowling options, though.
Yeah, the good thing about them is they have a lot of all-rounders. Starting from number 5, literally everybody can bat a bit and bowl for sure. So that gives them options. But, it's interesting when you can just roll your arm over in conditions which are very helpful. You do need proper bowlers and I say that because generally these people can just fit in a little bit. They are there like a Cameron Green is used in Australia when the fast bowlers have bowled their 5-over spells just to give them a break for about an hour. That's when he comes to bowl and he's obviously partnering with Lyon at that stage and bowling a spell. But when the conditions are aiding spin, you will need somebody as a full-time bowler because when a part-timer comes, the batsman looks to take them on. That's when you get those easy runs at that stage. So you don't want to get to that stage. Yes, if the wicket is good and there's no wickets that's fallen over a period of time, that's when the part-timers are more useful. But when the conditions are helpful, you need your full-time bowlers. And this test series is going to be a massive challenge between Ashwin's off-spin versus Lyon's off-spin. Whichever batting team plays that better has the better chance in this test series to go through.
Also, look, Warner, Khwaja, Travis Head, Alex Carey. There's 4 left-handers in the top 7.
Yeah.
So Ashwin will be saying, bring them on when just a little rough around off stump. Thank you very much. David Warner doesn't have a great record in Asia.
Yeah.
So, and he claims, he says he's completely exhausted. And he's coming to the end of his career by his own admission, I think.
Yeah.
So I still think India should believe they start favourites.
Crystal ball, come on.
No, I mean,
what can you see?
We always thought.
I can see. Oh, I see it. I've seen it.
We always
3-1 India.
3-1, you think?
Yeah. What do you say?
Where are they winning that one? In Dharamshala?
Australia. They can choose to win it wherever they want. I don't
Or are you just saying they'll hold serve once?
They can choose.
It's like saying you're playing Djokovic, but you'll hold serve once, so make it 3-1.
Yeah, so 3-1. I'm seeing 3-1.
I think if it's Turners, they'll struggle.
So you're saying 4-0?
If it's Turners, they'll struggle.
So 4-0. So you have to put a number where your mouth is.
There won't be draws. It's a big call to say 4-0, man.
Yeah, I do think we have to go test by test. I think if India puts spin-friendly wickets and they are able to get Australia, then 2-0 leading into the third test match. And Dharamshala is the trickiest venue of them all.
Yeah.
Because it might be hard to give a wicket in those conditions which are going to be very cold to aid spin at that stage. So that's a very tricky test match.
Even first week of March, it'll still be cold, no?
For sure.
Yeah.
It'll be freezing.
First week of March too? Yeah, okay.
It will be.
I remember going there for one of the ODIs and I wore 2 thermals and I froze at the presentation. But that was late in the evening, of course. It's a day test.
Yeah.
But it'll still be cold, but a little fresh. That track will nip around a little bit. You see one of the names in there, Scott Boland, becoming a cult figure in Australia.
Correct.
What does he do? He bowls on a perfect length, little out, little in, just short of drivable length, but it brings you forward 130, 132, 133. Now you bowl that 130, 132 on our tracks, it's suddenly not scaring anybody at all.
Yep. I'm thinking, doubt if he'll end up playing. But Also to add, I think for Chennai boy, Dharamshala is cold at 12 noon in a June afternoon as well.
Absolutely,
Right?
no doubt
It's
about it.
pretty much all the
I'd
time.
rather meet the Dalai Lama in Tibet than be in Dharamshala.
So you both have still not given me an answer. You have to come on. I'm telling you, I'm
You're saying 3-1.
yeah. Come on, numbers.
Honestly. It's very easy to
But
just...
I also don't know, na. I'm just
You just saw the crystal ball, you said.
predicting in my crystal ball. Sometimes crystal ball can get hazy. Also, AQI is like some 6,000. Maybe the air is not.
It could well be 3. I'll tell you when it could be 3-1.
Yeah.
Which is if it's a turn, Australia bat first when the conditions are good. And a tall left arm spinner and off spinner hitting the deck, you could just run through India once, maybe.
Okay, so 3-1.
Grudgingly.
Just, I had no idea such an innocuous question could cause so much discomfort to these two.
It's a big thing to say against a team of that caliber. 3-4-0.
सर कौन सा टैक्स लग रहा है बोल दो जो मन करता है बोल दो
Tax कम भी हुआ आज.
हाँ बिल्कुल तो बोल दो फिर तो लंबा बोलो
Tomorrow will be all over, Harsha. Harsha Bhogle, it's going to be 3-1.
या ओ एक्चुअली या यू कांट बहुत हेडलाइन बन जाएगी
नहीं कल नहीं बनेगी. कल निर्मला जी की हेडलाइन है. हम ठीक है.
ठीक है तो चलो आप भी फिर बोल दो 3-1 आपको भी बोलना है 3-1 2-1 2-1
1 in India's favor.
एक ड्रॉ करा रहे हैं ये
धर्मशाला draw. Rain.
I think so. No, not rain, but I think it'll be a flat week.
Flat week?
I think it has the potential to stay flat all 5 days also.
Okay.
Some of the biggest scores Himachal Pradesh have scored have been in Dharamshala.
Okay, excellent. So there you go. You have our guesses. We also have a question that has come in from one of our viewers. We take this in our Ask Cricbuzz Live section. Lakshit Sehgal. We were talking about KL Sehgal and Baba Sehgal. There's Lakshit Sehgal here as well. We saw Team India batters struggle against spin versus New Zealand. Given the current crop of players don't play spin that well, will producing rank turners against Australia backfire for India? Well, thanks for that question, Lakshit. DK and Harsha both are like, DK, your eyes became like, I can't believe this question has been asked.
I don't know which New Zealand series he's talking about. I thought we played spin phenomenally well this series. So I'm just trying to figure out which New Zealand
He's
series.
talking about the one where Ejaz Patel took 10 wickets.
Oh,
that
the
season.
test series that happened before. Fair enough. I think, and obviously the New Zealand off spinner did really well as well. But, I have to go back to what Harsha said. We have to play to our strength. Our spin bowling is definitely our biggest strength. I think, we have the potential to really disarm them and disorient them. So we need to go with that. Our Achilles heel has been not just playing spin bowling has not been a problem. It has been off spin, interestingly.
Yeah.
And they have obviously a world-class off spinner in Lyon.
Correct.
But he doesn't have the greatest record. So, we have a lot to go. And you also must understand, he will be under a lot of pressure knowing he is the key bowler for Australia to steer the ship in which direction it needs to go.
Yeah.
One bad session, if he doesn't have a great one, it could very well mean the test match itself is moving in a direction which could be against Australia. So that's a lot of pressure to handle. We have to understand that Ashton Agar hasn't played too much test cricket. Neither has Mitchell Swepson nor Todd Murphy. So a lot has to depend on Lyon to go well. Whereas for Ashwin, he has a Jadeja, he has an Akshar to back up. So that's a lot that he can obviously hold on to. Whereas with Lyon, one spell if he goes wrong and somebody takes him on, which has happened. Shreyas Iyer literally smacked him in a side game in CCI. So, these things can happen. So, when the pressure is there, he really needs to stand up. A lot of his temperament and his testament will come to the fore. And I also feel, yes, India probably not played off spin that well, but that's been on different conditions. This is, even though it's going to be turning, we got to understand we're going to be playing in India and we got to trust our ability to play spin, which has been part of our heritage and our lineage over a period of time, and you would expect our batters to stand up and do well.
I think the other reason also, he mentioned New Zealand, but there was a test match in Bangladesh that India just pulled out with Shreyas Iyer and Ashwin at the end after Akshar had done well.
Yeah.
There was Mehdi Hassan Miraj
Yeah.
and Taijul Islam, I think, which a little bit of Shakib. And the off-spinner bowled beautifully against India. And I saw him bowling to Virat Kohli, and he had Virat Kohli searching a little bit, as you say, against off-spin bowling. So those were two very good finger spinners, and they had India in trouble chasing a smallish target. So you could get caught on a turner if, as he says, Nathan Lyons got a good game. And remember, Michael Clark took 5 wickets.
6 for 9.
He took 6.
Yeah,
Joe Root has taken 5.
Yours truly was one of the wickets in 6 for 9.
Your debut test?
Yes.
His first test.
Oh. We didn't intend to open up those wounds, but it's happened. It's just happened.
No, India won because Murali Karthik took 6 wickets as well. So.
But I'll tell you, few things hurt as much as a joy factor question, because you look at them and you just end up feeling a little silly because you never understand what exactly is happening. Today was no different. The question that was sent is, this cricketer made his ODI debut in a match which lasted less than an over. His test debut was alongside a fielding great. Who is the cricketer? Now I'll tell you what happens. Right? For simpletons like me, village idiots you could say, we don't know things. We guide everything by emotion rather than knowledge, because we don't have too much knowledge, but I have a lot of emotion. And emotionally I remember it was my big brother Ajay Jadeja's birthday, and I thought it could be contextual, right? The question. And I thought he may be part of the answer. What I didn't realize in my naivety and my innocence is that it was the correct
answer. That is a first for you. You've had a decent career, but I think that must be the highlight.
I can't tell you. You were talking about getting a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. This is it. The fact that I had no idea about the question and I just guessed it. And in fact, I even guessed it wrong. I didn't even think it was the answer. I thought it was related to the answer.
I wondered why the producer came running into a change room talking to you, saying, "Sir, humne question pucha, aapne answer de diya."
Oh, okay. I don't know. Did he say that? I don't listen to him, so I don't know. But if he did, I'm really sorry, but I did. But here's the answer. It's true. I will give you an explanation as well, because I have no idea. I just knew it's his birthday today. Made his test debut in the same match as Jonty Rhodes. I said Jonty Rhodes as well. I'm really having a very good day today.
This was
the bought lottery tickets.
This was a test match in Durban, the start of the friendship series, I think, as they called it.
Yeah.
There's a plaque at the far end in Durban to commemorate that series, which was inaugurated by the two youngest players on either side.
Yeah.
Just Tendulkar and Jonty Rhodes.
Yeah.
It was also the test match in which Tendulkar became the first player to be given out on a review.
Yeah.
On a run out by Jonty Rhodes.
Jonty Rhodes.
So that I remember,
First time.
that game.
First time run out happened like that.
Yeah.
See, that's why I just do the
Can we
guessing.
get that slide up again? But I don't think we're ever going to see that slide again. Who answered it correctly? Can we just see that again? Because we're never going to see that again.
Chalo dikha do.
Can we get that slide up?
Dikha do.
And Joy giving you the thumbs up is even better.
He is giving me a thumbs up.
You when Joy said that
Because
question.
the thing is, the strange, and why this makes it so special is that sometimes Joy gives me the answer and I still don't know what the correct answer is because I can't figure out the question, right? But anyway, I've just decided, I want to now tell you, very importantly, that because I don't want to be embroiled in any conflict of interest situation, I have decided that I will step back. I will not be accepting the award. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, humbly, for the appreciation.
That's what people do when they won 7 Academy Awards and say, okay, I'm retiring, I'm
I'll
not going to
recuse
take
myself from this. But out of all the viewers, our lovers, our friends like yourself, it was Rohit Sutrave who gave the correct answer first. So people who are not involved with the show. I'm still not convinced about that because I feel like it is Joy answering from many handles because these questions are so tough. But apparently it's not. Rohit, you are a real person. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And Taliyan bajao Rohit ke liye.
Have you asked your big brother about the game in which he made his debut?
Yeah, he's spoken about it quite a bit, yeah.
Kapil Dev opened the batting, I think.
Yeah,
Jadeja played the game, but Kapil Dev opened the batting because Ajay used to be an opener.
Correct.
At that stage in his career.
Yeah.
And Kapil Dev opened the batting, maybe the only time. And I think it lasted 3 balls or 4 balls or something. But I was sitting in one Shamiana watching it rain. I was there at the ground.
Yeah.
Watching it rain and we were all excited that Kapil Dev was opening the batting, you know.
Wow, see, here's the thing, right? We can just do guesses and estimations and we saw it on TV, but humne banda rakha hua saath mein who has seen every game that has ever happened ever since cricket was invented.
Harsha, have you travelled in a ship to watch a match? No, just checking.
Spaceship, you mean?
No, the one that Don Bradman used to go on.
Sida Sada, he looked so sharif, na?
Yeah.
Even he's having
No,
a go at
I'm amazed by the amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
No, but if you see,
experience.
you remember, what happened in the games that you played?
No,
No.
not all.
He doesn't.
You've spoken to me about Sir Len Hutton, Sir Ajay Jadeja.
What I've read,
Sir,
we must tell Jadeja this, that Dinesh Karthik sat here and said you've spoken about all Sir Len Hutton, Sir Ajay Jadeja. He'll just be so overjoyed to be in the same company.
Imagine Sir Len Hutton. I think did you once have a drink with W.G. Grace as well after a game? Did you know?
You know, in our culture,
In our culture.
which spans so many thousands of years,
Sir?
there is one non-negotiable, which is respect for elders.
Sir, but we are batchmates, sir. We are all peers. We are all contemporaries. And I have just proven today, after DK has given that last zinger to Harsha, that whatever I have is actually contagious. I'm really sorry that you've caught it. And we'll have to now vaccinate you thrice before you go back home, lest you do this and you're sleeping on the couch.
Sir,
Yeah? Don't take this.
Len Hutton and all.
Yes, sir, Len Hutton. But I'm just telling
But
you.
one hand was
actually,
shorter than the other.
In all fairness, actually, out of all the people here, I think I am the oldest because when God said, let there be light, I flicked the switch. Not too many of you know that. I'm going to flick the switches in the studio now because it's time to go. So it's lights out for us. And I want to thank Dinesh Karthik for being here. Thank you so much, DK.
Thank you, GK, for this whole series. It's been an absolute pleasure. And Team India thanks you. Leave me. Team India thanks you.
For being here, yes. I'm really sorry, but New Zealand should thank me for missing the first game. I was not here and you guys won. But
Sorry.
the only win they had.
One question.
Yes, sir.
I have to ask him on behalf of all the fans.
Please.
Sir, will RCB win this year?
So that is the toughest question I've answered in the studio ever. And I don't have an answer for that.
That is the toughest question that you will not be answering in this studio. Because you will not be answering that question. Don't do it. You'll become a meme. Don't answer it. I think the laughter response will become a meme straight away right now. Nervous laughter. Sir, any other zingers to be exchanged? Are you both done?
I'd love RCB to win and DK to hit the winning shot, and we'll say, we send apna banda.
I'm going to take you. I have to take you both to the detention room right now and have a strict talking to. Right? They will be talked to. All right. But I just want to tell you that you keep watching Cricbuzz because we have lots of great content that's going to be coming up. We have the test matches, there's the ODIs, after that there's the IPL, and every year the ICC has their IPL, which is the World Cup, and of course the Rise of New India, which is a Cricbuzz original, that's coming on Cricbuzz Live. So, sorry?
It's fantastic.
The show?
The Rise of New India.
That's because you're in it? That's
No.
why?
No.
Are you plugging it now? Go ahead.
I'm just plugging it. It's a really good show.
Elevator pitch.
So it's a really good show.
Yeah.
It's got one of the least known, funniest people in Indian cricket on it.
Who?
Least known to be funny. They haven't seen that side. Ishant Sharma.
Ishant is very funny. Ishant's very heartfelt and very funny as well. So, of course, DK's in the show. Harsha's in the show. I'm not in the show, so I'm just going to be watching it like you. I'm your representative. Brother is on your side. These hoity-toity people, I tell you. All right, it's time for that caviar now, so I'm going to go serve that. Thank you so much for watching Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here, Harsha. Thank you, DK. Light band karo. अच्छा मैं करता हूँ